everybody!
Hello!
And welcome to our YouTube channel. We are, as always, ARNE CARLOS, and today we have a really bad hair day, so you're not going to be seeing us, but you may be seeing our hands as we do a little podcast for you. However, Arne, before we start the podcast, we need to get away with the formalities, so bring it on.
That is, if you like the video, put your thumbs up. If you don't like it, put your thumbs down.
But they don't know that yet.
No, but after.
After, yes.
And then you have to remember to subscribe. And, I forgot it again.
Oh yeah, and of course, sometimes we post videos on a Thursday or a Friday. Usually we post them on a Sunday, but by turning on your notifications, you will always be up to date.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, and you'll never miss an episode. So you're not seeing us, but we're here. Freya's here as well.
Freya's here. She's barking again.
Have we had a lot of moose in the garden lately? Yes, we have.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, so if Freya barks, you know there's moose lurking around the house as always. The ever-elusive Norwegian moose, which is never seen, just like us today.
Yes. Or
anyway.
Maybe it was a mouse.
Oh yeah, could have been a mouse today.
Could be a mouse.
Yeah. We're in the year of the mouse, or actually the rat right now, according to the Chinese zodiac. It's the year of the rat, and we have that lovely little creature that we created for one of our books, Knit and Crochet Garden, Magnus Mouse.
Magnus Hagemus.
Yes.
The garden mouse.
Now we have been working on the Magnus Hat, so this is for the year of the rat, or mouse, as I prefer to call it.
So we're inspired of Magnus when we made the hat.
Yeah. So, what's the hat? How did you do this hat, Arne? Can you tell us?
This is knitted in alpaca soft DK, and it's knitted in the yellow. No, what to say? Greenish, bluish.
Are you colorblind suddenly?
No. I think it's kind of a blue, like blue-green.
Yeah, it's like a blue-green. Yeah.
Like something from the ocean.
Yeah.
And then it's knitted in that bluish and brown, the light brown. Yeah. So there's a lot of carrying of the yarn, so it looks like this on the inside.
Okay, so you have done it in, you didn't do it in intarsia, you did it in stranded.
No, I decided to do it in stranded because it's not that hard. So it's easy in a way.
Yeah, but it could be done in intarsia as well, if you prefer.
Could. And
but then I'm seeing here, there's no, there's short distances here.
Yeah.
And this is not too bad down here either.
No. There's some long distances here, you can see a little bit, but they probably disappear when I steam it properly.
Yeah. And then since you knitted the hat in the blue, green and light brown, it means that you've done duplicate stitch for the eyes, the nose and the mouth.
The dark brown, the white, the black and the red is duplicate stitch. And what we are going to do today is we're going to talk a little bit about anything and everything, and then I'm going to make whiskers.
Oh, mouse is getting whiskers as well.
It's getting whiskers in the DMC embroidery yarn. I tried with wool, but that was so thick, so it didn't work. Yeah. And I also think that this yarn is too thick, but you can split it. So I'm going to split it in 3
So strands. How many strands are you going to use?
3 on each, like when you do cross stitches.
Ah, very good.
And then we can just make the whisker.
And let's talk briefly about the other yarn, the yarn that you use to knit the hat. That is the alpaca soft DK from Rowan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of beautiful colors in that yarn. That yarn really takes color beautifully. It's one of my favorites in their line.
Yeah, I think it's
I have
really
to say.
nice.
It's really, really nice.
And the quality is nice.
The quality is great. It's nice and soft and snug. So yeah, everybody's gonna probably want to have this pattern. And if you're interested in the pattern, don't worry because it's on our website. Just go to arnecarlos.com, select shop, and you will see the Magnus hat at the top of the page. I'm going to make sure to put it where everybody can see it.
Yeah.
So that you can get yourself the pattern and get yourself a year of the rat or mouse hat. It could be for you, could be for your kid. The size is pretty unisex and unisize, isn't it?
I think it is.
Well, not for babies, of course.
No.
But
for a baby, you might take off one mouse.
Yeah, but this hat will work for quite a few sizes around here. Yeah. Are you going to be wearing this hat?
I'm going to wear it. Look, this looks good.
This looks really good.
The what you call like a skinny whisker.
Yeah. So how are you going to be doing can you tell us a little bit about how you're going to do it?
This is where you go up and down, and like you go a little bit back. I don't remember the name of these stitches, but it's like attersting in Norwegian.
Oh yeah.
So you go, I go under 2 stitches and up again, and then I pull it like this, and I go towards me, and then under the next stitch.
So we're gonna have to ask our embroidery experts in our audience. If you know us from before, you will know that we're not native English speakers. We have learned English as a second language, both of us. So sometimes we forget the words. So if you know what the name of this stitch in English is, please let us know in the comments field so that we can learn a little bit more English. I know that we learned it a long time ago.
Because we did a video on embroidery and then we remember the name. Maybe we should Google it.
Actually, we should have actually started practicing and checked this before doing the podcast. But it's too late now, so the viewers will tell us.
It's attersting. Then you learn a Norwegian word.
Yeah.
Attersting.
Yeah. So please tell us what the name of this stitch is while Arne does the whiskers. So is it going to have long whiskers or short whiskers?
No, maybe they will look a little bit different. See what I feel for. But I think that's long enough.
That's a really long whisker.
That's a long whisker.
And how many are you going to be putting? 3 on each?
No, 2 maybe.
2, 3. We'll have to see. We'll have to play it by ear, as they say in English.
Play it by ear.
Play it by ear. Yeah. This is exciting. New year, new possibilities, as we always say. This year is going to be a little bit special for us. We're not going to the US. This is going to be the first year since 2014. 2014. Since 2014, we've been going to the US every year, and we're doing loads of events there. But 2020 is a year when we have decided to stay a little bit away from the US because we want to do other things and we want to visit other places. There's so much to do in this world and so many people that want to meet us, and we can't just keep going to one country all the time.
No, we have to be
available for more people. Yes,
or fair.
Yeah. So this year is going to take us to Australia. Well, actually, it's going to be in a month's time. If you're listening to this, it's February 2020. So end of March 2020, we will be doing a fun knitting cruise in Australia that we're very much looking forward to. It's
and to great. New Zealand.
And New Zealand, of course.
That would be really cool.
It's going to be very cool, yeah.
And it's the first time for us.
Yeah, first time in New Zealand, not first time in Australia.
No, we've been in Australia before.
Yeah. We'll be going to Japan later on in the year, in the fall. We're looking forward to that one as well. In the summer, sorry?
In October.
In October, yeah. In the summer, we will be going to the UK.
Yeah.
We did a beautiful garden trip last year with our fans, because knitters are gardeners. That's just a fact. And we're doing it again this year. We've got a great tour lined up of properties that we're going to visit. Some of our favorite gardens.
Yes.
And it sold out very quickly. And then, of course, we're doing our Norwegian Coastal Express tours. The knitting cruises, the one under the Aurora Borealis is coming up soon. Fingers crossed for very cold weather and
we
lots and lots of sun.
Weather.
We need cold weather and sun to see the northern lights. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
And we're doing another one in September, which is also pretty much sold out, where there may be possibilities to see the aurora. I'm not 100% certain, but there are possibilities. So we're looking forward to that. And then, of course, the final trip that we haven't yet announced, well, at least not until now, but we're also going to be doing a mohair trip to South Africa that we're very excited about.
We're really looking forward to do that because we just been there and we've been checking out places to take you people, and we love South Africa.
Yeah, we just went there. So the trip to South Africa is going to be a 10-day trip. It's going to take place in November. I think the arrival day is November 5th, so November 5th to 16th, so plenty of time before Thanksgiving. And it's going to be a wonderful journey in South Africa. And of course, the main thing in South Africa for knitters is obviously the fibers. South Africa produces fibers of extreme high quality, and there's two in particular, the merino and the mohair.
Yeah.
Obviously, merino, if you're familiar with merino wool, you know that there is a practice in Australia called museling, which is horrible, and where you actually mistreat the sheep. and it's due to a parasite. And not all Australian wool growers practice this mulesing. There's a lot of growers that don't do it in Australia as well. Tasmania, among other places. We've been there and seen the merino sheep treated very, very well without this horrible practice. But if you want to be absolutely sure that the yarn, the merino yarn, is mulesing free, then it's definitely a good place to go to South Africa, because they don't have that parasite there. So a South African merino would be 100% guaranteed mulesing free, and of very high quality, of course. And then the Australian, if it says on the banner that it's non-mulesed yarn, I do believe them. They are submitted to very big controls and things like that, and Woolmark is involved, so it's okay anyway. But anyways, merino wool from South Africa. We saw sheep, didn't we, Arne, on our trip?
We did. We went to see this farm. It was really beautiful. It was like being somewhere in the countryside in England.
Babylon store.
Yeah.
Is that the one you're thinking about?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Australia.
Oh, no, because we're in South Africa now.
You're in South Africa now.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well,
you talked about mulesing and Tasmania.
But I was just saying that the mulesing is only in Australia, and if you want to be guaranteed a mulesing-free yarn, then you go to South Africa. And yes, we were at a sublime property in Tasmania in 2017 with Woolmark, where there was not a hint of this awful
it was beautiful
practice.
But this time, in South Africa, we went.
Yeah, we saw a lot of merino sheep in South Africa, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We saw a lot of animals. And we went to a place called Babylon Storen.
Yes.
Which was so beautiful. It was like a wine. It was a wine. What's it called? A wine farm.
It's in the Stellenbosch Franschhoek area, which is the wine producing area of South Africa. But they also have. It was a farm, a working farm with beautiful produce, and they had animals as well.
Yeah.
And
it was really beautiful.
Yeah, we spent the whole day there. We should have stayed there overnight.
We should, because it was beautiful. And that's actually also, they have like this wine train.
Oh yeah,
that's something we should do when we go there on the knitting trip.
Oh, we will.
Because you can go with the train from one vineyard to the other. Vineyard, and you can try wine.
Yeah. Imagine a hop-on, hop-off wine tram where you can just go and see all these beautiful properties and enjoy their vineyards and have wine tastings. It's going to be fabulous.
But I have to say, like when you travel in South Africa, it's really hard to knit. If like you're working on something you don't know, if you start on a new project, it's really hard because it's so beautiful.
There's so much to see.
You have to look at the view all the time, and that is... I've been in South Africa one time before, but I really didn't see it because I won this competition. I designed the dress for Miss Norway for the Miss World competition, and the first prize was going to the show. And then I stayed in a place called Sun City, so I didn't see much of South Africa. But now, that's my new favorite place. Or one of the favorite places.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what was I talking about?
Yeah, we were talking about South Africa.
The view.
The view, yeah. So anyway, we went there. We've just come back from a very quick trip. The good thing about being in Europe, obviously, is that we don't have jet lag. If we go to South Africa, we just go south.
Yeah.
So we went on a very quick trip, like an express trip, a four-day adventure in South Africa. We flew from Oslo to Istanbul and then Istanbul to Cape Town and spent our first day in beautiful Cape Town, which was actually incredibly beautiful. Yeah. What a stunning little city. Well, not that little, but what a stunning city. Beautiful weather, amazing food. We went into the food market and enjoyed seeing a lot of fun packaging.
And there's also like this arts and craft market.
Yeah, the waterfront, the Victoria,
so beautiful.
Victoria and Alfred waterfront. It was called the Watershed.
Yeah,
beautiful place where we also saw some yarn. There's this company there called the Cowgirl Blues that do
beautiful yarns.
Yeah, beautiful mohair and merino wools or yarns that we look forward to researching further and maybe working on some fun projects for this trip. But yeah, so Cape Town was really amazing. And then from Cape Town, we went over to Franschhoek via Babylon Storen, where we had lunch and spent the whole day enjoying the farm. And then
Franschhoek.
ended up in Franschhoek, where we stayed in a nice little hotel downtown.
Yeah, that was beautiful. It's
Yeah.
like one nice street. There's a lot of restaurants and there's a lot of nice galleries and
Yeah.
art. And yeah, it's beautiful.
And
So
for those who are wondering, Franschhoek is the name of the town. It means French corner in Afrikaans. And this is where the French Huguenots, because of the war between the Catholics in France and the Huguenots, a lot of the Huguenots were expelled because they were Protestant. They ended up in the Netherlands and Belgium, I suppose. And from there, they went down to South Africa, and they settled in this part of South Africa because of probably the weather conditions, very similar to what they had in their
it's
part of
very
the
similar
world.
to Provence.
Yeah, it was very similar to Provence in terms of weather and the beautiful landscapes. Well,
Yeah.
not maybe that much Provence, but I mean, it was just very beautiful.
It's maybe greener than some parts of Provence, but because some parts are not so green. Like we went to Saint-Remy, was
Yeah.
it? That was, we went on the time it was very dry. But then again, if you go to the areas around Nice, it's greener.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
we're not talking about
No.
France.
Anyway, Franschhoek is a French corner, a beautiful place. Then we went to the Grand Provence vineyard for dinner and had an amazing tasting menu with wine.
Yeah, and they had
That was
cheetahs,
great.
but they were not there, so we didn't get to see the cheetahs.
No, we were a little bit sad that we didn't get to see the cheetahs as we went into the Grand Provence vineyard.
And you could actually touch them because they're not wild,
Well, I'm
wild,
sure they're pretty wild.
but because they were born, I think, in that place, but you're not touching them before, like after they had their dinner. So that says something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that tame.
And then from Franschhoek we went through the garden route to a place called Knysna. It's spelled K-N-Y-S-N-A. Knysna.
Nice.
Beautiful little lagoon there.
Yeah.
I was so delighted by the trip. The infrastructure down in South Africa is really, really good. And what I loved the most was the little stops we made. Because, I mean, there, I think Norway has a lot to learn from them. Because everywhere we stopped, it was so pretty. And, I mean, we even did like in Norway, if we do stops on the way to Oslo, like for a break, for a cup of coffee or something, you end up at a gas station, a pretty bad gas station with
It's
a
like-
very...
Not nice. It's like normal.
Yeah,
It's
with
not-
a very unhealthy selection of stuff. And if you're happy and find yourself a cafe, a coffee shop, it's more in the style of a diner, again with very bad quality food and very uninspired surroundings. But in South Africa, so when we drove from Franschhoek to Knysna, we did a couple of stops. The first one was a coffee stop where we stopped in the middle of the road in a tiny little town. At a beautiful bakery
That was amazing.
with stunning baking goods. I mean, they were so good and so beautiful. It was boutique. It was a boutique bakery in the middle of nowhere as a stop, just to have a break, have yourself a cup of coffee, a nice, delicious bun. And then they had a shop where they sold handmade crafty things.
Yeah.
And hats,
Very
and
nice.
tablecloths, and wine, obviously.
So I'm going to bring an extra suitcase when we
Yeah.
go to South Africa because
Definitely.
there's a lot of shopping there.
Yeah, such a great country. And then we went to, as I said, we ended up in Knysna near the lagoon, which was lovely.
Yeah.
And then from Knysna, we went on to the highlight of the trip. And by that time, we were a bit upset that we didn't get to see the cheetahs at the Grand Provence. But then we arrived at the Kariega Game Reserve.
And we saw everything, but
So-
not the cheetah.
No
But we
cheetah.
saw all we saw the 4 big animals.
The big four,
The
actually
big
the
four.
big five.
The
but-
big 5, because that one was hiding. But
Yeah.
who was that? That's the cheetah. No, the leopard.
That was the leopard. That
The
was
leopard
hiding.
is
Yeah, the
the-
big 5 are elephants, rhinos, lions, buffalo, and the leopard.
And you know why they're called the big 5?
Because they're the most dangerous animals there.
Dangerous and they're small.
Actually, the hippo is the most dangerous one, but he's not included in the big 5.
No, it's not.
Anyway, we saw everything. We saw lions, giraffes, zebras, impalas, blue wildebeests, which are also called gnu,
I love the gnu.
waterbucks, nyalas, monkeys, ostriches, rhinos, hippos, birds,
A lot of
everything.
antelopes, kind of, which we don't know the names of.
Mm.
So, but that was really nice, and we're looking forward to going back there. The place is very interesting because normally, like for me, it was a surprise because when I see these animal programs on TV from like the place where you go on a safari or the wildlife, it's always on a savanna or like open landscape.
On the steppes. Yeah,
on
but
the steppes. But this was like this could be like in a valley in Norway. It was like mountains and green.
well,
and
the
stuff.
animals there were definitely not animals.
No,
we
but the
find in
landscape
valleys.
was more familiar.
Well, it was very lush, but what they told us was that it had been raining a lot.
Yeah, and it has been farmland.
Yeah.
And they made it into this
Game reserve.
game reserve, and it's really interesting. And they also took the what you call the thing on the nose of the rhinoceros.
Oh yeah.
The horn?
Yeah. They're actually doing a lot of work to protect the rhinoceroses.
Rhinoceroses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and they had Tandy, the only rhinoceros to have been known to have survived the poacher attack. Where they actually took her horn and she survived. But there's plenty of rhinos there, but they all have their horns kind of cut down a little bit,
so people don't get into the
so people are not enticed
park
to kill them.
and kill them because and that's kind of crazy. Like they told us, like if people really want that for their
Aphrodisiacs. in Asia.
aphrodisiac, they could rather eat their toenails because it's the same.
Yeah.
And how can people be so stupid? It's
Well,
like,
and
how can
cruel.
you actually kill such a beautiful animal just to have that when you can eat your own toenails?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
Anyway, there's also the Karoo area in South Africa where the mohair is farmed or grown. And we're going to be doing, this tour that we're doing in November has to have some, aspect of knitting in it. And we're going to be looking at the mohair, which is actually a beautiful, beautiful fiber. We work a lot with mohair when we work with Rowan, as they have the kid silk haze, which is one of our
we haven't done that
favorite
before.
yarns.
We didn't do that in the old days.
No, but since we started working with Rowan, we've been doing kid silk haze, and we love it. And the mohair goats, Arne, how cute are they?
They are beautiful.
They are. Look at them. They look like little toy goats that like the stuffed animals. It's
And
so
I have to
cute.
say another thing also. I think a lot of people are a little bit afraid of going to South Africa because they think there are like all these sicknesses like mosquito.
Oh, you mean malaria?
Malaria and stuff, and they don't have it in this place.
Well, they do have malaria in South Africa.
Yeah, but not in.
No,
it's not
the Kariega Game Reserve where we were
dangerous
is
to
a
go there.
malaria-free. The Kariega is a malaria-free area. If you go to the Kruger National Park, though, you do have to.
Then you have to be careful.
But anyway, back to the mohair goats.
Okay.
The story is quite fun. I've read about it. I'm not sure if it's a true story, but it is fun. The story goes that the mohair industry in South Africa was founded by pure luck.
Yeah.
When the Sultan of Turkey, or the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire at the time, in 1838, he sent 12 infertile Angora rams and one ewe to South Africa.
One ooh?
Ewe, yeah.
What's that? What's a ooh?
I think it's a lady.
Oh yeah.
And the rams are gentlemen, right?
Okay. Yeah, and because he didn't want them to have
Yeah, probably.
the Angora.
However, what the Sultan didn't know was that the ewe was pregnant
And voila.
and gave birth to a ram en route. And this ram was not infertile. So suddenly they had a ewe and a ram, and they lived happily ever after, having lots of little Angora goats in South Africa. Now, I don't know if it's a true story. It is pretty charming.
Why not?
Look at that. Looking really good. How many? Have you done all of them now?
No, two of them.
2 of them.
And they're not even. I think that's nice.
It's better, yeah. We don't want
because-
symmetry. We don't like symmetry, Arne, so that's much better.
I'm gonna wear this when we go skiing, or
Yeah,
I'm gonna
moose-
wear it
moose.
when we go.
Moose alert.
Moose alert!
Anyway, the goats went to the Karoo region, where in South Africa's Eastern Cape, and that's where That's where they thrive. Apparently, it's a combination of hot, dry summers and cold winters, and semi-desert
Freja.
vegetation that they moose
Freja, kom här.
and semi-desert vegetation that makes it thrive there. And then they're shorn twice a year, and they're not harmed in this process. I mean, it's just like gently shaving off their fleece, right? And they are the best quality mohair producers in the world, all the South Africans. So we look forward to introducing our knitters to this region, getting to know more about mohair, and then getting inspired by all the beautiful animals. We are going to design some fun project for this knitting
Yes, we are.
trip, inspired by our trip to the Kariega Reserve. It's going to be amazing. And we hope people will join on this trip, because we really want to go back. I mean, we're going to go back anyway, regardless of whether this trip is going to happen
happening
or not.
Yeah.
But if you're interested, you really need to go to arnecarlos.com and check out our journeys and see if this could be something for you. I know the distances from the US are pretty far. It's easier to get to South Africa from Europe. The good advantage of Europe is that we don't have jet lag if we travel down to South Africa. Time difference is 1 hour from
So it's
Cape
good
Town
for everybody from Europe.
Yeah, good for Europe, of course.
Like for us in Norway, was it like 1 hour?
Just 1 hour time difference. They're 1 hour ahead of us.
So it's the length is it's a long trip.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
11 hours from Istanbul to Cape Town, and then another additional 4 hours from Istanbul to Oslo, plus the waiting time. You know, it's going to be a 20-hour trip anyway.
Yeah, but then you don't have the jet lag problem when you come home.
Yeah.
So it's easy to go back to normal.
From the US, it's a little bit further, obviously, because of also the fact that there are not that many direct flights. But you can go, you can travel from Atlanta to Johannesburg direct, and you can go from Washington DC and New York City as well to Johannesburg direct. It's a 14-hour flight. Yeah. So once you get to New York or Washington or Atlanta, you're good to go straight to South Africa, or you could go through a European city. It's far away, but I think that South Africa is on a lot of people's bucket list, partly because of the safaris, but also because of the beautiful mohair. And it is a must. It should be on everybody's bucket list, because the food, the charming people, the beautiful countryside,
the arts and crafts,
the animals, the crafts, the skills. I mean, it is really, really nice. Such a beautiful place. And
I purchased some beautiful stuff.
Yeah, cushions.
Oh, we found some really nice cushions in a shop who sold like fabrics and arts and crafts stuff. And that's actually one of the places where we're going to see some weaving. Was it weaving we should look at? Or I think it was weaving.
Yeah, we're doing a weaving tour as well when we get to.
And then, but the cool thing, I found cufflinks for my cufflink collection.
Yeah, loads of great cufflinks.
So I'm happy.
Yeah, no, it was all in all a great tour. We're happy to be back and excited to going away. So anyway, check out our website in case you want to join this amazing adventure. South Africa should be on everybody's bucket list. Safari, a once in a lifetime opportunity. Why not go with a bunch of knitters? We'll just knit, because you can't really go on safari the whole time. I mean, when we're in the game reserve, you only do the safari in the morning from about 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. And then in the afternoon, it's from 5:30 p.m. to... No, sorry, 4:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. or 8. So it's only in the morning and in the evening. So you have the whole day to knit your beautiful mohair projects that you're going to do.
But it's very relaxing looking at those animals. And the cool thing is that we drove around in an open car.
Oh, yeah.
So you get good pictures of the animals. And
if you want to see, because we're not being very fair here, we're just describing everything. You're not seeing anything.
We're going to put out a video.
Yeah, we're doing a video, and I'm also doing a blog post, so that you go to arnecarlos.com blog right now. If you go there, you can see all the photographs that we did from our wonderful safari. I'm posting several photos of that and of other things that we did while we were in South Africa for you to see how cool it was. Oh wow, look at the mouse. It's looking pretty good.
I still have
one So
half.
you know what? Those little whiskers do everything.
I think they're like the...
Why don't you do?
What do you say? Pricken over i-en?
Yeah, it's the icing on the cake. Why don't you just do one more on one of the sides and leave the other one? You know, we don't want it to be symmetrical, do we?
But I want two on every one.
Oh, you want two on every but one. But you could do like just one here and then nothing there. Just to...
Like a little fun detail?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just... let's see what it looks like. You're probably going to do it your way anyway because you never listen to me. But that's the way life is.
Oh, well, then you can make your own hat.
Yeah, I will.
With your asymmetrical whisker mouse.
About making things for ourselves, Arne. We are doing... we have embarked on a humongous
huge
project.
And we talked about it for a while.
We've been talking about making our own folk costumes for a while.
And we started.
And finally, it's a reality. We've been to the Husfliden in Lillehammer. Our folk costume is going to be from Gudbrandsdalen.
Because that's where
Arne comes from, and that's where our family is from. So we're both getting the Gudbrandsdalen folk costume for men. And we went to Lillehammer because Lillehammer is the capital of Gudbrandsdalen, and it's also the place where Arne was born.
I know.
And we were measured and fitted for the folk costume, which then they create the paper patterns and they cut all the different pieces for the jacket, the vest, the shirt, the trousers. And then it's a couple of weeks ago, so I'm thinking that in another week's time it will be ready, so that we can go and pick it up. We'll go pick it up, and then we get it's like a kit basically. We get a huge instruction manual,
and we need that because we haven't done any sewing for a long time.
Well, it's a massive instruction manual. The jacket has it's lined, and it has embroidery. It has piping. And embroidery around the seam,
kind of
a simple
piping,
embroidery.
Yeah.
The vest is in brocade.
Yeah.
Arne selected one fabric, I selected another. That one has passepartout pockets. So how did it look with just one whisker? I think that's pretty cute.
I can leave it like that, just for you.
Well, then, I'm sure you're gonna leave it like that until I'm not looking anymore, and then you're gonna fill it in after. I know.
Then they'll be like, oh, he need one more.
I know you.
You know, like if a cat, they say like if you took the whiskers of a cat, the cat wouldn't go anywhere. Or
really?
Or
if you took them away.
Mm-hmm. Or if it was like a long way from home and you took the whiskers off, he wouldn't find his way home.
Oh,
I don't know if that is true. But maybe it's the same with the mouse.
Maybe. But anyway, let's go back to the folk costumes. So anyway, we're getting all the parts in a couple of weeks, and then we have to make. Yeah, as I was saying, the vest has passepartout pockets, and the trousers are they go to the knees.
Trousers has passepartout pockets.
They
too.
do, yeah, and they have tons of different pockets.
And we haven't done that.
No, not pockets. They're buttons and buttonholes, and they go all the way up to they're very high waisted.
Yeah.
And they are only until the knees, so they are kind of like this 17th century
knickerbocker. No, what you call
knickers in English, Arne, is a lady's underwear.
Oh.
Knickerbocker, maybe knickerbocker, but I think it's more of.
I know the French word. Pantalon de Norvège.
Pantalon, yeah, which is quite interesting.
Norwegian pants.
But actually they date from the pre-revolutionary days.
So why is it called Pantalon de Norvège?
I have no idea. But what I do know is that this is what the aristocrats wore in the 18th century. So 17th, of course, also 17th century. Up until the French Revolution, this is what the rich and the aristocratic wore. And then after the revolution, so post-revolution, the trousers became long after Napoleon.
But we're going to have the short.
Yeah, well, you can choose, but we found the long trousers to be very bulky and quite ugly.
And then you can rather go with a normal suit.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's another good thing about getting the short trouser.
Because you can make your own stockings.
Well, not because you can.
Well, you have to do it.
Well, you don't have to. You could buy them ready-made.
No, but we're not doing that.
No, the stockings alone cost. Did you see the price?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you.
How much?
So if you buy the stockings, which are hand knitted by someone, if you buy them in the shop, they cost $300 a pair.
$300
US dollars.
pair.
A
That's
pair.
like 3,000 Norwegian. $300?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my, that's expensive.
Yeah.
Wow, I can start production of those.
Yeah. And get yourself some tendonitis and the go.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. But really, they're very expensive because they're hand knitted. I mean, honestly, it's not expensive if you consider what it is.
Oh, it takes a lot of time. I'm working on my first stocking. What's the right word? What's it? Stocking?
Stocking, yeah.
Stocking. So I brought it. I started before we went to Africa, and then I was knitting in Africa. So I'm going to take my socks around the world, or stockings around the world.
Yeah.
So I think I will finish the first one before we go to the cruise.
I'm going to be knitting mine on the cruise. Anyway, let's go back to the price. So
okay, yeah, the price.
The good thing about us is that we know how to knit. So luckily, we only had to buy the yarn. The yarn was not expensive. It was about $15 per skein, wasn't it?
100 gram.
The 100 gram skeins. So about I think we bought 4 skeins. 4 skeins. So we spent
remember.
it was 4 skeins of the yarn. It's about 90 kroner, so it's $10 per skein. So we ended up paying $40 for the yarn, and that's what they were saying also when they were measuring us. You know, the big work is not the cost. Is not the materials, it's actually the hand work. And because we're making it ourselves, we're saving approximately $2,500 each.
Yeah.
That's what we save by making it ourselves. Imagine if you don't know how to knit, if you don't know how to sew, and you have to buy everything from scratch. We're talking $5,000 per folk
And I think
costume.
also like a lot of people might be surprised, especially if you're not from Norway, when you see the stockings, because they don't have color work.
Oh yeah, no,
A
they're
lot
cables.
of people think that everything in Norway is color work,
They're white cables.
but these are cables and knit and purl. This is like really the old way.
Yeah.
So
Well, at least for our region,
Yeah.
they are supposed to be white. They have a relief pattern of romps,
yeah,
and they have cables. They have 5 cables altogether going upwards. There's 3 in the front, 2 in
I
the
think
back.
5.
And then they've got the little romps going up like a diamond pattern.
But then for
in
some
relief.
parts of Norway have the 8-leaf roses on their socks.
They do, yes.
So there are color work also, but a lot of these folk costume stockings, they have cables.
Yes.
So that's cool. Now I am making, I have 2 more, or 1 more if we just leave one like...
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But anyway, about the full costume, we'll be working on this, and we'll give you some updates in our podcasts from time to time how it's going. If you are on our cruise in March, you will see the first stocking, and you will probably catch us knitting our stockings on board. And more than likely, we will have something. We have to weave the garter bands as well.
Oh, that's also cool. That's another technique we never tried, so that will be something we have to make swatch and see if we can do it.
So because we have these knee trousers, I think they're called breeches. I'm not sure, but anyway, we've got these knee trousers. Then we have the hand knitted white stockings with the cables. And to hold those stockings up, we need garter bands. And the garter bands that we are doing, actually it was very open. We had a huge selection of colors, and then we could choose our colors ourselves. So both Arne and I were looking at the vests that we had, because we have different kinds of vests. Mine is a brocade vest with larger florals. The main color is light blue. And then there's some red in it and some other, very pretty colors. So I ended up selecting 4 colors, out of which 1 was white, 1 was black, 1 was red, and 1 was light blue. And I suppose that when you choose your own colors, you're actually demonstrating your good taste, which I hopefully have. And I didn't want to match it to the vest exactly. I wanted to complement it to the vest. So
I took colors from my vest, so I'm boring.
No, because you actually chose a very unusual color that not many men would choose.
Yeah, but I
Pink.
took the what's it called? The most common fabric for my vest.
Yeah, but your garter bands that you're gonna weave
So
yourself,
they're a little bit different.
they're gonna be very different because you have pink in them. You've got pink, red, white, and blue.
And blue.
So they will be very, very beautiful and slightly different because of that. Again, you're demonstrating your good taste.
And you know, if I like to do those ribbons or bands or what you call them, I'm gonna have more.
Yeah.
Because then I can change my outfit. That's cool.
Yeah, you know, too much is never enough.
Never enough.
So anyway, we are really, really excited about the folk costume situation. I don't know though. I mean, right now we're talking about knitting a couple of stockings and weaving some garter bands, which I know is doable. But the big shock might come the day we pick up our
sewing machine.
no, the fabrics that they've cut, and we look at everything, and then we get that 400-page manual on what to do. Yeah. That day might come as a massive shock.
But I think
for us,
we've done sewing before. That's like our background, so I think we can make it. But if not, we tried.
Oh no, we're gonna make it.
We will make it.
Come on, I mean,
it's the trouser that is the hard part. I think.
Actually,
when I looked through all the garments, I think that's the one that we really have to work on.
On the other hand, I do remember the good old days, you know, the romantic days when we had no money and we were trying to get into the fashion industry and when we made everything ourselves. And I remember that making trousers is for me the easiest thing ever.
Like a normal jeans is easy.
Well, yeah, like any trouser. I love making trousers. They're so easy, and we never had problem with fit, did we? They always sat really nicely across the bum, our trousers. So never had a problem making trousers. I hate making shirts and blouses because of the sleeve and the cuff. I never enjoyed that part where you have to wrinkle the fabric and get it to fit in the cuff.
But on these trousers there are some strange things up around your waist.
Yeah, but I think
we have to. But I guess the manual is good.
I think the trousers is going to be not a problem. I think the passepartout pockets though,
practice.
Those we're going to have to make a couple.
So what do you think now?
Oh, let's see. Ooh, the Year of the Mouse Magnus Hat is ready.
Isn't that a little bit strange?
I think it's cute.
Okay, so we keep...
Well, as I said, it's going to stay like that for 5 minutes and then I'm going to leave the room and somebody is going to...
But now I'm finished.
Is going to crochet. Is going to embroider it again.
But then I'm finished.
So anyway...
Well, you could do like... eyebrows?
Yeah, no.
I think it's enough.
Let's leave it as it is. And
if you want to do eyebrows, if you make the pattern, let us see how it looks. Post it.
Yeah.
And show us your hat with a mouse.
So the Year of the Rat, or Mouse, as I prefer calling it, is upon us. And now we have a perfect hat to do our skiing and to enjoy ourselves and keep us nice and warm. I think I'm going to be seeing this hat on board the Norwegian Hurtigruten, and I think you're going to be wearing it there, Arne.
Yeah, I think
it's so cute.
And I also think maybe I should do like a pong-pong with the two brown.
Well, you know what they say, sometimes less is more.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, thank you so much for watching this podcast. We hope you've enjoyed listening to us. We hope that you're inspired to make your own little Magnus hats. The pattern is available in our web shop at arnecarlos.com. We hope you've enjoyed hearing us talk about our trip to South Africa. And yes, we are excited and we really want to make this trip happen. So if you're interested, go to arnecarlos.com, select journeys from the menu and see if you can sign up. Now, I'm going to leave this room because I have plenty of things to do, but I believe that the moment I leave, Arne is going to start embroidering that final whisker. I don't know, but that's what I think. Anyway, Arne, I'm leaving now and I'm sure that you'll do whatever you have to do. So
I'm not doing anything.
Well, we'll see about that. So see you next week, same time as always, 6 p.m. Central European Time, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Bye.
See you.
I knew it. I
didn't do anything.
I knew you were going to start embroidering
No, I
that
didn't.
the moment I left the room.
Turn the camera off.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye.